Welcome along to this working from home version of the Met Office 10-day trend. There's plenty of sunshine around for the next few days. In fact, the longer range forecast is for largely fine conditions into next week. Not much rain in the forecast, but we are in for a big change in terms of temperature. This weekend, we're going to see a big drop. It is going to turn a lot colder. But for the next few days, actually, we'll see temperatures rising a little bit. Let's start off with a look at the really big picture and take a look at the jet stream, that fast-moving ribbon of air high up in the atmosphere. I'm showing you this because actually, across the UK, with the jet stream, there's not a lot of action. It's quite powerful across western parts of the Atlantic, but then it kind of splits and one arch goes up across Greenland, another drives to the south across Spain. But across the UK, not a lot of jet stream nearby, which means the pressure patterns are fairly slack for the next few days. A weakish area of high pressure tries to move in, low pressure isn't too far away, and there are some weather fronts around which will be the focus for some heavy showers. So for the next few days, yes, it's going to turn a little bit warmer. Temperatures will be rising by the time we get to Friday and into the weekends. Some spots could have temperatures into the low to mid-20s. There will, though, with that rising humidity, be a few showers around. But for many, it's largely dry and bright for the rest of this working week. The change happens as we go into the weekend. Now, we start the weekend still with some sunshine, certainly across England and Wales on Saturday, and temperatures still, in some places, in the mid-20s. But notice it's cooler already across Scotland. There's a cold front sinking south. There's also a weather front just pushing up there across from France, and there's a bit of a squeeze going on, a pincer movement with those two weather fronts this weekend. Looks like that cold front, though, will win out and drive south across the country, introducing colder air everywhere. Some spots between Saturday and Sunday are going to see a drop in temperatures, easily 10 degrees. Some places maybe 15 or even more than that between their maxima. It's also going to turn colder at night, so gardeners take note. There will be a return to nighttime frost, so turning much colder during the weekend. That's the big headline, if you like, over the next few days. There will still be some rain around this weekend. That cold front bringing some rain across Scotland on Saturday, and the threat of some rain from that weather front across the south, especially on Saturday night and Sunday. Bit of uncertainty about that, but we're pretty sure it is going to turn colder. One of the reasons why there's some uncertainty, again, taking a look at the big picture, is the jet stream. It's in an unusual position. That arch we saw earlier heading up towards Greenland, driving south through the weekend and bringing low pressure to the far north of the UK. But actually, it's allowing high pressure to build in, the squeeze in the isobars, allowing that northerly wind. That's why there's a bit of uncertainty about the position of the weather front, because that's an unusual position for the jet stream. But as I said, look at where the air is coming from, right the way down from the Arctic. That is why it is turning colder, and a lot colder as well. Nighttime frost, risk of ice even in Scotland on Monday morning, and down the eastern side especially, there will be some showers, and those showers will have a wintry flavour. That means hail, even sleet to low levels, and some snow for a time across parts of Scotland. So yes, it is turning much colder into the new working week. But that big area of high pressure out in the Atlantic, well, that looks like toppling in through next week, bringing us a lot of fine and dry weather. This next chart shows the pressure tendencies, the most likely pressure pattern through next week. Along the top, you can see the forecast days going into next week. Going down the left-hand side there, that's going back in time, previous computer runs. Red means high pressure, blue means low pressure. A lot of red on that chart, particularly into next week. Notice that green column, that's as that cold front comes south on Sunday. That's the day of transition to colder conditions. But all the while, high pressure will be dominant. So that means a lot of dry weather next week. But there's a big difference between dry weather and warm weather, and dry weather and cold weather. So which is it likely to be? Well, this next chart shows something similar, again going forward in time across the top, previous computer runs going down the x-axis. And this shows the difference between northerly and southerly winds. The reds there for Thursday and Friday showing southerly winds are more likely to be dominant this week, and then the blues take over, those northerly winds kicking in for the weekend. But there are signs that towards the end of next week the southerly winds may return, and that's the difference between whether we see warmer weather or colder weather. This next chart reflects the temperatures, most likely in Reading. I've picked Reading, but it could be any location across the UK. And it shows that roller coaster, the slow rise in temperatures over the next few days, then the drop as we go through the weekends. Big drop, especially in Reading between Saturday and Sunday. Notice the barbs there, that little blob, it's quite extended there. That reflects the uncertainty on Sunday, because just the timing of that weather front, it could be a little slower or a little faster. So some uncertainty about the timing of the weather front, but it shows that colder conditions for the start of next week, but again hinting that things might get a bit warmer as we go through next week. So in summary, next week, high pressure, a lot of dry weather around, start cold. A lot colder than it will be for the next couple of days, but it might just start to warm up towards the end of the week. As always, for the day-to-day details, make sure you're following the Met Office on social media. Make sure you enjoy the weather safely, follow government advice, and stay safe.